Well, let me start by introducing myself. My name is George Stewart. I am the president of the board for Mississippi Families as Allies. Thank you all so much for attending our 10th annual Community Partner Celebration. Wow, 10 years. 10 years of honoring our community partners, and we thank you so much. Every year I am just overjoyed and excited to be a part of this opportunity. I think it's so necessary that we acknowledge and we honor our community partners. Because of you, we're able to do the work that we do. So we thank you. We feel it's only right that we honor and acknowledge your service to families and children and to this organization. So thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to Joy, and we're going to get started. And thank you all again.
Thank you, George. And I want to acknowledge our other board members who are here. Emil is our cameraman, and Parthenia Fields. Thank you for being here. And our board gives us a tremendous amount of support, so we're very grateful to them. I also want to acknowledge our staff, a lot of whom are, I think Jackie's outside with our interns, Henry Moore.
Here, here.
Here. Okay, Nikki Flippins. Oh, they're all right there, and Karina. They do just tireless work, and I so appreciate you guys. We also want to give a big thank you to our sponsors. And we've been really fortunate this year because we've had some sponsors who have basically sponsored us for the year, and then some that are sponsoring this specific event. We're really excited because for the first time, we got our first $10,000 donation this year. Yeah. Now, we're finding out, thank you. And if anybody wants to be the second, you go right ahead. So we're very excited. We haven't learned a lot. We know we got it. It's one of those where the donor has some specific things they want us to do. So that one right now is listed as anonymous. They couldn't be here tonight, but we will be sharing that with you, more about that with you. Our other sponsors for the year and for this event, Enterprise Mobility Giving. I'm a sponsor in memory of my sweet husband, who many of you knew. Jackson Women for Good, Disability Rights Mississippi, and they are in the house. Thank you, Polly. Hapax Creative, which is Emil's company. Thank you very much, Emil. And then Patrick Pankey, I know he is here too. And he does a lot of our IT and is awesome. Oh, there you are, Patrick. Wave your hand. Don't be shy. Okay. Thank you. And you can also see we have several hosts, and we appreciate them too. So thank you to all of you. This is a really special time because this work we do at Families as Allies, I think everybody knows, we're a statewide organization run by and for families of children who have behavioral health and related challenges. So we support each other, and then we work together with our partners, which is all of you, and at the systems level to make things better for our children. So to make it really simple, we are parents, or whoever's raising a child, because it could be a grandparent. If it's an adolescent, sometimes they go out and pick their own family. Whoever's raising that child, we're families helping families get what they want for their children. Because we believe families know their children better than anyone. They are their children's strongest advocate. And we believe systems should follow policies and laws about families and children's rights. And that's what this all comes down to. Because then every child has the chance to live in the community and thrive. So we appreciate all of you who share that mission and that vision with us. And there's no way to do this without all of us being at the table. So every year, we honor our partners who have especially helped us the past year in exemplifying each of our 4 core values. And each of these Awards is now named after somebody who has worked with us, who has unfortunately died, but all of these are named in memory of someone who has made an incredible difference to Families as Allies. And we have, I know, at least one of those families here with us. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about them as we go through. The first award we have is the Helen Reddy Johnson Memorial Award for valuing every child and family. And a lot of you knew Helen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Okay, we'll do it together. And Helen, she loved children, she loved families, she loved people, but she was fierce. She was a fierce advocate, and she got a lot done. And I met her actually when I was staying home with my son, and I was, I think, the PTA president. And I went to some PTA state meeting, and I met this woman. You know, I thought, okay, well, we'll raise some funds and like we'll do something for the playground. And I met this woman who was like, oh, we can change education policy in the state. And she was getting so much done. And then I found out she had this twin who was getting a whole bunch done too. And I was kind of intimidated, but I sat at their feet and I learned so much. And Helen was actually on our board when I started, and then she unfortunately became ill and passed away, I think, a couple years later. And so we have named this award after her because she did care for every child and family. And so this year, when we were thinking about who most exemplified what Helen did, the person that all of us thought of was her twin sister, Ellen.
Wow.
And you know, Ellen's done so much anyway. But she has worked tirelessly on this issue of corporal punishment, especially in schools. And we know, especially for children with disabilities, that just causes all kinds of problems and trauma. And she has worked tirelessly, and has made sure that families were at the Capitol whenever she's up there, and just done conferences. It's just been amazing. And one thing we're going to do tonight is let you hear from our different staff who are working with these people for what it's meant to them. So I'm going to ask Karina Price to just say something, and then we'll have you come up, Ellen.
I've had the pleasure to work with Miss Ellen. When I tell you she is a feisty sister, whoo, she feisty. But just the fact of them bringing families to the table, even asking children, what is it that y'all want? How can we change legislation? How can we change laws? That right there, that's a lot. And that goes with our mission and our vision and everything that Families as Allies does. So it's an honor to present her with this award on today. Miss Ellen, come on. And when I say can cook some quiche, she can fix a mean quiche.
Thank you. Thank you. Joy, thank you so much. I love you. Thank you. When Rena called me and told me this was happening today, I wrote her and said, do I have to make remarks? She said, yes. Okay. So, I am a talker, as everyone knows, so I have written remarks, okay? I guess I want to start really by thanking the board, Families as Allies board, and the wonderful, diligent staff that you have that work with you, the interns and all the volunteers. We had the pleasure of working with her interns, and we had childcare provided this summer during an education conference, and I look over at him because you came strong. And so I really appreciate and honor our partnership. This year was 9 years since we lost Helen, and you all know, as you all do, I miss her terribly. It doesn't seem like 9 years, but it's been 9 years. And it was always special having a big sister. And although I have an older sister, Helen was my twin, and I saw her as my big sister. And as Joy said, I liked having a big sister because she really watched my back. Helen was more methodical, more kind of thinking through and laid back versus me. it comes up and it comes out. So it was always good to have her in the room because she would look across the room from me, like a parent, and say, okay, make that eye contact, and it meant, chill, Ellen, you've gone too far. So I really miss her terribly. And of course, of all the treasures that she shared and left with us was this relationship with this family. Family is allies. It's a beautiful thing to have a twin because the reality is I go lots of places and I don't know a lot of people, but they think I do because I have a twin. So I get hugs and kisses from total strangers sometimes, Then I walk away and say, I really don't know them. But not only did Helen leave us the treasure of this family, she left a spirit to ensure that all children receive a quality education. And I brought her something that someone made in one of the quotes that Helen would always say. It's a quality education for all children, no more and no less. And so I'm pleased as a coalition, as Nolly Jenkins Family Center, to carry on that work. As Joy said, we added another component to our work in terms of ending corporal punishment for all children. The reality is that state-sanctioned violence. We should all be in a very different place when it comes to the dignity and rights of our children. If we're not centering all policy that impacts children, we have to center children. Children have rights, and they have a right to their dignity and respect. And that's why we do this work around ending corporal punishment. I want to thank NJFC staff. Some of them are here. My little one is over there laying in the chair, and we carry them everywhere. I want to thank our staff. I want to thank members of the Mississippi Coalition to End Corporal Punishment, our partners. I know this is not easy work for all of us, because when I first came here, Helen would say to me, they don't even offer special education services in Holmes County. I thought, no, you can't be telling the truth. But she did groundbreaking work in terms of moving that needle to ensure that all children were served in Holmes County. So I want to thank NJF staff. I want to thank the Mississippi Coalition. And as I said, I know this is not easy work, but the hearts and minds of our policymakers and public officials must implement child-centered policies that take into consideration the rights and dignities of young people. But we have to continue to persevere. Finally, to the board of Families as Allies, to Joy, staff, Ms. Rena, all of you, I just want to say thank you for honoring the work that we do and for our partnership. May we always remain faithful in doing challenging work, because for these are all of our children. We will profit by or pay for whatever they become. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
I just want to check, is anybody here from United Healthcare? Oh, yay! Oh, I'm sorry, I stared right at you earlier, I'm sorry. But, you know me, I would do that, I'm so sorry. Okay, I wanted to make sure you were here, so excuse me for doing that. Okay, so I guess y'all know who the next award is for. This is our award for excellence, and our 4 core values are what we strive for, and then when we work with the state systems, what we urge them to adopt as well and strive for. So this award is named after Rusty Turner, who was an attorney who worked with us when I first started, and we did not have really strong personnel policies. There were all these things going on, and he was actually a friend of our family's who just was wonderful. And basically everything he did with his son, he did with my son too. So he kind of lived Families as Allies. And then he helped us and really helped us get all of our policies and procedures to a point where they reflected the best standards in the industry. He died, he was getting ready to come on our board and died unexpectedly after some routine surgery, so it was just heartbreaking. He was in his 40s when he died, but he was an amazing man. And I remember him looking at the mission on the walls of our organization, and I had asked him if he'd be interested in coming on the board, and he was like, "Do you really think I can do that?" And he pointed to the mission, and I thought of how he was with my son. And I was like, "You lived that." He was just amazing, but he had such high standards too. And we have been really fortunate this past year. We had a grant, and it wasn't even still going on, with United Healthcare. So we got to know them, and they helped us expand our parent-to-parent peer support into the juvenile justice system, which we're very grateful for. But that grant had ended, and we've had good things grow out of that. But they called us, and they said that they had some free technical assistance available that could help nonprofits with budgeting. And if you know anything about nonprofit budgeting, in spite of what you may have heard happens in some organizations, it doesn't in ours. With a nonprofit, we really need to be able to tell you, if you donate to us, where every single dollar goes. It's not like a business where once you take it in, you just put it back into the profit. So you really need to track. We work very hard, and we're a pretty scrappy little nonprofit, and we have, like right now, we have 12 different funding sources. They all start and stop at different times. They all have different requirements, and if we have a family event and want to go back, need to buy a bag of ice for the drinks, we have to make sure we take it from the right place and a place that really has it and all that, and that we can document that. And we need to do that, of course, with bigger expenses too. And Jackie Taylor is our office manager, and she came in and it's like, has been amazing trying to help getting all this sorted out, and so is our CPA, and making sure we're really tracking. But what we asked United Healthcare for technical assistance is, how do you lay all that out? And how do you keep up with it so that on any given day you can make sure that we really are spending money from the right place at the right time? And they helped us with that. And I'm going to let Jackie come say just a word or two if you want. And y'all might want to just express empathy to Jackie anyway, because she's the person that deals with me every day running Families as Allies.
Hi, how are y'all? So with funding, it can be very difficult and time consuming to make sure it's family driven. You have lots of grants. They all start and stop at different times. And we want to make sure we're keeping it all on the roll, that we're here for the community and here to help as many families as possible. And United Healthcare Foundation was there to help us keep that together, to make the budget as organized as possible, to make it established and making it look great. So it all turned out well and very organized to help us continue to help families in the community. So I'm very excited to award the Rusty Turner Memorial Award for Excellence to United Healthcare Foundation.
I'll say a little bit. I just want to thank Families as Allies just for your partnership with United Healthcare and the good work that you do. It's really an honor to accept the Rusty Turner Award for Excellence. Thank you all.
Here we go. Hold a second. Okay. All right, we're going to come back to the Partnership Award, and our Award for Accountability is named after someone who is very, very dear to this organization. It's named after our founder. And I just wonder, how many of y'all knew Tessie? Okay. Yes. She was unforgettable. She was amazing. And she spent a lot of time at the legislature. And she got a lot of things done. We have some excellent, excellent, excellent laws in the state about mental health that we all want to make sure are followed. And some of those are a direct result of her work. And she always, always, in everything she did, It was about how is this going to end up serving that child with mental illness, their family, how is it going to help them, or an adult with mental illness. Tonight, the group that is receiving this award is the Mississippi Psychiatric Association. And you guys have just been amazing. And Angela Ladner is their executive director. And I am the staff member who's going to talk because
That's trouble.
and Dr. Kathleen Panel,
And Dr. Meredith.
and Dr. Meredith,
And we want Dr. Representative Creekmore to come too.
and Representative Creekmore, can you come up too? This past session, Representative Creekmore spearheaded and got passed some amazing legislation that really made a difference in making the mental health system more accountable and getting data that we didn't have before. And I don't know if you realize how much, I know the MPA really helped you, I'm sure, and gave you a lot of technical assistance. And they probably weren't going to tell you this because they don't talk about themselves. In fact, I just thought this was interesting that these three were telling me, make sure this person gets the credit. It's not me. They were all very, it's a very, from what I've seen, very selfless in their work. But they also do a great job working with organizations like ours. I wasn't at the Capitol much last year because a lot had happened. And Angela was making sure we all understood and that families understood. I'm sure you were doing the same thing on the adult side. And there's a lot of things that happen at the Capitol, and I'm not casting judgment on anyone. Well, sometimes I am, but I'm not going to right now. But I can say from the bottom of my heart, the Mississippi Psychiatric Association, everything you do up there, it is about people with mental illness. It is not about, and their families, it is not about perpetuating yourselves. It's not about protecting yourselves. It's about making things better for people with mental illness. And Tessie would be so proud of you. And if you ever forget to do that, she'd be up in heaven shaking her finger in your face, she would. So I'm just very grateful, and I'm very grateful. Our organization is very grateful to you for the legislation you spearheaded.
Thank you.
So I don't know if y'all are gonna keep, who's gonna get who I hand it to?
Me.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
If you don't mind, I was asked to be the contract lobbyist for the Mississippi Psychiatric Association in 1999. And when I walked in the door, I went to the board and I said, what's the one problem that's going on in Mississippi that we need to fix? And they said, well, we don't have any mechanism for if someone's a danger to themselves or others to hold that person. And they said, we need to have a 72-hour hold law. And so I went to the Capitol just as green as anyone could be and started talking to people and saying, look, I'm a new person in this realm. I happen to be married to a psychiatrist. And I'm told by the members of this organization that this is the number one problem that's going on. And I can say 23 years later, standing here, that this is one of the most used laws now on the books. You can ask any ER physician, anybody in a rural hospital, it was necessary. And so, but our doctors recognized that there was a gap in the system, and we were willing to go to work and try to fix it. Because we knew that people that were in that predicament needed assistance, they needed medical help, they needed something now, and we didn't have time to wait for the system to catch up. And that's what we've been doing for the last 23 years, as we have been feeling a sense of urgency. And we're so happy that it looks like as we move more and more into the future that we are going to catch up. And we're honored tonight to have Representative Sam Creekmore here, who I've been praying for 23 years to ride up on a white horse and be willing to say, let's do something about mental health. And now he has been honored by the new Speaker of the House of Representatives as the newly selected chairman of the Public Health and Welfare Committee in the House of Representatives. And his co-chairman is Representative Kevin Felcher, who this organization recognized last year in this award ceremony. So there could not be two finer gentlemen that have mental health on their mind and in their hearts, and they are going to do amazing things over the course of the next 4 years. And I could not be, I think I was more excited than he was, that he was becoming the public health chairman. So our president tonight, Dr. Philip Meredith, is a child and adolescent psychiatrist. What this organization does is in his heart. He works on this every single day. And Dr. Panel has spent more hours at the legislature than most legislators. So I just want to tell you that I am surrounded by people whose heart is in the right place. And we truly, Joy, without the partnership of Families and Allies, and we have shared information, we've gone in the trenches together, and we've worked. And we're finally starting to see, it took 20 years for us to see something come to fruition, but it was well worth it, and we're going to stay there. My one joke at the legislature is, please put me out of business. I would like to go home. But I need you to fix systems in order for me to leave here and feel good about the fact that everybody that has a mental health issue can get the services they need. And until you do that, I'm coming back.
And I'll be right there with you. Thank you. That's an amazing, amazing, amazing social worker, but even more so friend. And I worked with Joe at Catholic Charities, for years. And she made such a difference in my life. And she always, we were a good pair, because I'd be thinking about all this, like, building systems and building programs and policy and all that. And I always cared. But Joe was always, always, always that person out there. Making sure that every single person felt cared about. She saw people's hearts. She saw my heart. I remember her telling me, because somebody, and this isn't a good reflection on me, had just found out they were pregnant or something, and I was like, oh, okay. And I just kind of went back to what I was doing, and she was like, do you care? And I was like, oh, I care. And she sat me down, and she goes, Joy, you have to show you care. Your face has to show you care. And I was like, oh, okay. She could see, and she knew I cared. But she made everything better, but she did it in such a kind and wonderful way. Wouldn't you say? She was just. And she always cared about families, and she did so much with MAP teams in the state and making sure they functioned the way they were supposed to, and that families were always at the table. So this award is named after her, and I think she would be absolutely thrilled, because this year it is going to a social worker, Dr. Jacqueline Loggins, who is over social work at Jackson State and has made a big difference to us, because we have for years had interns who are placed with us from Jackson State, and it's been an amazing partnership, because we learn so much from them. They bring so much energy, and then they're getting the latest information in class. And then for us to be able to show them what we do and help them learn about advocating with, not for families, and especially the education advocacy part. And we hope those are skills and values they'll keep with them for the rest of their, careers. And what we were doing is we were having a staff member come talk about what each particular partnership that we gave an award for meant to them. So I know your main man that you work with is Henry. So we're going to let Henry come talk a minute.
All right. Give it up for the main man. It's just awesome having Dr. Let me just tell a little story about Dr. Loggins and the social workers. So Dr. Loggins, okay, she makes them sweat. And I tell them, I said, listen, that exit interview, you better make certain. How many social workers in here now? You got any social workers? Okay. We're going to make certain you can use social work language, and everything you do at Families as Allies will align with those 9 competencies. Okay? Everything they do, it lines up. So the social workers we just had to graduate, I mean, they came out blazing. And Dr. Loggins was asking about them competencies. I think she got to number 4, and they were so impressive. Anyway, our partnership with them is awesome. I'm just privileged to be the field instructor, and it's a great partnership. We have 2 over there right now. And Dr. Loggins, it's really great in the job you do at the JSU, the Jackson State, the I Love, baby. And it's just an honor to have you and the social work intern. So. Oh yeah, intern, stop eating. Come on.
You can swallow.
And look, they bring energy to our office. Okay, I tell them all the time. I said, listen, I'm a senior citizen, but they come in there. I feel like I'm 22 when they come in the office. You know, I feel like I'm 22 years old because they bring so much energy. They bring excitement, and the thing they do with families. All of the social work interns, I've been there going on 11 years. They always bring that empathy. They spend hours on the phone with families when they call, and they help families navigate through these systems. We know how systems are. They help families navigate through systems, and they help families provide resources. So their hearts are in, as we say, social work. Okay, I messed that up. Anyway, you want her to come up? Yes. Okay.
So as you guys can see, a social worker's work is never done. I am in my scrubs, and I had to make a decision. I work at the VA as well, to either change clothes and get here, or not get here, or come as I am. And I came as I am, as a social worker. I have had the joy and pleasure of talking to Joe's people over here. These are Joe's people. And I often say to people that I know, I meet people through their people. Because if their people love them and say that they're nice and they're good and they're okay, and what they're doing in the world and the community, and what they've done for them, and what they've done in other people's lives, then I know that's a good person. That's a good person. So I didn't get a chance to meet Joe, but I know Joe. I know Joe, and I know that she was an excellent social worker. And if you're a social worker out there, then you know this. Don't think we stopped doing social work. We keep doing it. I'm doing it in my sleep. I'm going to be doing it when I'm dead. You just might not know what I'm doing, but I'm going to be doing it. Okay? So you got a good person still in your life, still there, still watching over you, and still doing social work, wherever she is, okay? And you said that she had people at your home all the time. It was so many people in and out of your home. She took in all the strays. She took in all the strays, then all the strays are there right there too, okay? It's been a pleasure learning her through you, okay? A pleasure learning her through you. My joy, my pleasure right now, okay? And I cherish every moment in my life that I get. When I meet people, when I get to know people, I really do cherish it. It's part of our work we do as social workers. It's part of our self-care for ourselves, and it's part of our empathy that we have for other people in our lives, okay? And we want to touch as many people as we can. I teach my students that as well. Touch as many lives as you can, because each life you touch, you reach one and you teach one, okay? So thank you, Joy and Henry, for this award. He is my main man, guys. I just honored him at our field instructors training. He takes my students 2 by 2, Noah, 2 by 2, and I love it, okay? I love it. Thank you all for this award. It really does mean a lot to me. It'll be displayed in my office, whatever it is, a piece of paper, a plaque, whatever it is going to be there in my office. So if you stop by my office, it'll always be there. You'll see it, okay? Thank you. I'm going back over here with Joe.
Y'all continue to enjoy yourselves. Thank you for coming. You mean the world to us. And please, please let us know any ways we can partner. And if you want to give money tonight, we would love that. And if you know people want to give money, we appreciate those connections. And some of you all have met some of our board members tonight. We're always looking for board members, or people who might want to learn how to be a board member. So that's another way you can give. And Emil's here, George is here, and Parthenia's here. So, any final words, George? Okay. All right. Well, y'all have fun for the rest of the